All right, you can go.
All right. So yesterday we read the story All About Me, All Are Welcome. And I just wanted to recap about what we did yesterday because our activity today is kind of the part two related to that, and we just ran out of time. So who can raise their hand and share with everybody kind of a quick recap of what it was that we learned yesterday through the book and what other activities that we did? Patty, what did we do yesterday?
We read a book and we talked about how, like, we described what we saw, like how different people eat different foods and different cultures and different beliefs. And it's fine that they believe different. You can't bully them about it.
Yeah, right. So, like Maddie was saying, one thing that we did focus on was how a lot of people were different within the classroom and how their different cultures and the things that they like to do were different from other people. However, there were some things that were similar, and we focused on that as well. Uh, what we did after that, what did we do after we read the story? Anybody? Miss Wilton?
Filled out a page and then I forgot what else we did. I knew we did something else, but I forgot what it was.
Angel, help her out.
So it was like in the hyperdoc, I guess. It was like called it was in the hyperdoc and it was called the Padlet.
Yeah. So what we did yesterday is I'm going to share my screen so we can get there. You guys don't have to go there just yet, but if I go to our All Are Welcome hyperdoc and we scroll all the way down to what we did yesterday, remember that we did the reading of All Are Welcome and we did a response of what we thought about the book. Then after that, we did a Padlet where there were, I think, 7 questions that we all answered. And so what I want you guys to do, we're going to just talk about it. Remember yesterday we said that we need you guys to do this because we're going to use it tomorrow. We're going to go through and look at some of the things that were similar, that we see a lot of similarities with our classmates, and some of the things that are different from one another. So what I want everybody to do, I want everybody to pull out their whiteboard and marker and hold it up. Let me see that everybody has it because I need you guys to all be taking little observations and little notes of what we notice as we go through and point out what things are similar and what things are different. Once I see a majority of people that have theirs out, Ruby has hers, Bennett has his, Phoebe has hers, Aaliyah, I see your marker, Alex and Ryder are ready. Good. So as we go through, we're going to go through each tab, each question. We're going to see what we see come up a lot. What are a lot of the similarities that we see throughout our class, and some things that are a little different and stand out from each other. So let's start with what I think are the easiest 3. That's going to be the sport I play, the favorite school subject, and the least favorite school subject. As I go through, if you guys see anything, if you guys see a lot of occurrences, shout them out because we're going to have to take note of this and pay attention to, so that once we get to the next assignment, you guys are going to be able to respond and answer the questions that relate to this. So when it comes to the sport I play, I was scrolling through this earlier. I saw that Jacoby does Taekwondo. Kayla does Taekwondo. Ruby does Taekwondo. I think there was one more. I think it was Shane. Yeah, Shane just does jujitsu. Wow. That's 4 different students that do martial arts as a sport. I found that really unique because I remember when I was in elementary school, there weren't too many students that had martial arts as a sport that they did.
I do taekwondo too. I just didn't write it because I forgot to.
Who was that?
Colton.
Sophia Wilton.
Sophia Wilton also does taekwondo. So that's one thing that you guys can note down as a similarity amongst our classmates. We have 5 students of our 30 that do taekwondo or some kind of martial art, which I think is really cool. As I scroll through this, as you guys are looking at my screen, what are some of the other sports that you see come up a lot? Angel, what do you see coming up a lot?
Soccer, baseball.
Yeah, soccer and baseball are also really popular sports that you see a lot of people playing.
And even kind of basketball too, maybe.
Yeah, basketball does come up a lot. I see Alex McCormick plays basketball. Ryder plays basketball. Yeah, no, definitely. Those are some sports that can really tie a class together. Sports is a great way to tie a class together. So then let's go through the favorite school subject, least favorite school subject. We're going to go through these quick because when I was looking through, I saw a whole bunch of different responses for what people like to do and don't like to do in class. As I go through, take note of what you're seeing a lot and things that are standing out.
Reading and writing.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of reading, a lot of writing. Daisy J likes to write. Abby likes to write.
Yep.
I see a lot of reading too. But then let's look over at the least favorite school subject. Let's take note of what people aren't very fond of doing in the class. See math and science and writing. Jacoby doesn't like science. Bennett doesn't like social studies. I haven't seen much of that. Bennett, why don't you like social studies?
I kind of get bored.
I get bored. We'll have to. We'll try and work around that. And then this, what you spend too much time doing. There's one theme that I'm going to point out to you guys as we go through. I saw a lot when it came to this. So what do you spend the most time doing? Miss Hasselbar says she works on her computer a lot. Shia plays video games. Ashton plays games. Alex Kennedy plays Fortnite. Jacoby says the internet. Gabe says video games. Bennett says the computer. Julian fights with his brother. Sophia W. plays on her Switch. What are we noticing a lot when it comes to this? Sophia L. says that she plays on her tablet. Kalia, what are we noticing?
Everybody's using a lot of electronics.
Yeah, that was a good observation, something that I made when I was going through. And being that we're online and we're through Zoom, I mean, it's kind of hard to avoid all the technology, but I see a lot of people, Daisy P, Angel, Brandon, Alexandru, a lot of people are using technology too much, or what they think is too much. So if you guys notice that, take note. If you guys saw anything that stuck out, one that I saw was Daniel spends too much time jumping rope. That was something that I definitely did not think of I was going to see when I was going through it. But if that's what he thinks he spends too much time doing, then I mean, that's what he thinks he spends too much time doing. Then favorite out of school activity. I think this one has a lot to do with what you spend too much time doing. If it's your hobby, you're going to spend a lot of time doing it. And if you're not doing it in class, you're going to be doing it during your free time. I, for one, I like watching sports. Phoebe knits. I like that one. Phoebe, what do you knit?
Well, so far I've knitted a hat and a scarf, and I'm doing another scarf.
What was harder to knit, the hat or the scarf?
The hat.
Yeah, I would bet, being that you have to round it and make it come together. As we go through, Alex Kennedy plays Fortnite out of school. Ashton with his games. Jacoby with his video games. Nicholas likes playing with his Legos. Kayla, as studious as she is, loves to read with her Harry Potter background. Gabe likes playing dodgeball. Dodgeball is fun. You do get to play that in middle school, or when I was in middle school, we got to play dodgeball. So maybe you'll be able to get back into it. What are some of the things that you're writing down, Jacoby? What are some of the things that you're noticing as a trend? What are some of the activities that you're seeing come up a lot?
Video games.
Video games is one that I noticed. Anybody else have any that they're writing down?
I noticed that everybody likes sports. Almost everybody.
Yeah, a lot of people writing sports. Mr. McCormick's writing sports. Brandon likes playing soccer. Saw some other ones. Jack likes playing sports. Daniel likes watching football. Miss Lococo likes playing soccer. Maybe watching soccer. She didn't specify. But yeah, we're going to get through the last couple ones of these here. Strongest quality or attribute. A lot of people here just put what they're really good at doing. Ashton likes singing songs. Jacoby plans on being in the NBA. Phoebe wants to be a third grade teacher. Nicholas, I like that, learning new things. A lot of this online learning has been learning new things and learning online, doing things that we're not accustomed to doing. Vera rock climbs. So I'm seeing a lot of physical activities, sports, running, dancing, rock climbing. Julian, your best quality is being annoying. Who do you annoy the most, Julian?
Probably my brother.
Julian,
what do you do that annoys your brother?
What?
What do you do that annoys your brother?
A lot of stuff. It's just hard to think of what I do because I do it so much.
Yeah. Well, let's move on. We're almost through here. Something new that you recently tried and loved. I tried jalapenos on my burger, and I saw something similar to that. I really like that, and it's one of my favorite things to do now. But if I go down, I think it was Bennett. Yeah, Bennett recently tried avocado in his burgers and his sandwiches. Who inspired you to try that, Bennett? Maddie's raising her hand like it was
I just
her.
tried it and then I liked it.
Yeah. Try new things is something really important to do. A lot of differences when it comes to this. A lot of different people are trying a lot of different things. See some foods here like Ruby, Sophia, and Bennett. And I see a lot of arts like Maddie and Daisy J and Shane with his guitar. Daniel likes new hot sauces. So that's things to consider when you guys are going through writing down. What you see is a lot of similarities and a lot of differences. What is important to you? This one's almost gonna be a giveaway. You guys are gonna see right away. Miss Hasselbar says, my family. I said, my family. Phoebe, my family. Mr. Kennedy likes his pug. It's most important to him. Shia, there is nothing in the world important to you. Shia. I hear a
Not
sigh.
really, but yeah, I guess.
Okay. Vera, my family. Jacoby, my family. Nicholas, my friend and family. Kayla wants her family to be safe. Sophia W. likes her dog and her family. That's important to her. Gabriel, my family. Family. Ruby likes her bed. But Julian likes his family. So, what kind of trend are we seeing here on this one? This one's an easy one.
Family.
Yeah. A lot of people value their family and friends most importantly. These last two were really insightful. There are a lot of people saying a lot of different things. What moves you to tears? Military deployment, when they come back from deployment, that's really touching. Dogs being rescued. Phoebe, yeah, the Holocaust was a very, very serious event. Still really moving, and a lot of people have a hard time coming to grips with what happened with that. But with Alexander Kennedy, nothing moves him to tears. Vera, we just learned about the Twin Towers and how they fell on, and then what Patriot Day came from that. Jacoby with his grandma's funeral. I'm sorry about your grandma, Jacoby. But what kind of theme are we seeing throughout this as I go through? What does a lot of this have in common? Anybody just shout it out?
Pets.
Yeah, a lot of pets, a lot of family, a lot of really sad things. But what I wanted to point out was that not all these things are sad. There are some things that are more of a heartwarming tear jerker, like Kalia, seeing the dogs being adopted. Miss Hasselbar, when the military comes back from deployment, that's more an emotional, like a happy tear that you might see when it comes to that. That's not more sad, that's more emotional. Seeing dogs being rescued, that's more emotional. And then the last one, what gives you goosebumps? What are people afraid of? Or what gives you the chills in a good way? For example, Miss Hasselbar, she doesn't like scorpions. But what gives me goosebumps is when someone hits that perfect note when they're singing, and it just gives you the chills. As we go through, take note. You see more people saying things that are actually scary or things that might give you the chills and amazement and awe. I don't think Miss Wilton likes being scared at all. Every scary thing ever gives her goosebumps. Or you get the more practical approach. Maddie, the cold gives you goosebumps. Yes. I saw a few people say that. Daisy J doesn't like speaking in front of a class. No, a lot of people don't like doing that. Ruby, yeah, coldness does give you goosebumps. Great. So I hope you guys wrote down what you saw similar and different. Hope you guys have a lot of different things written down, because what we're going to do now, you guys are going to just watch me get there, and then I'm going to put something in chat that you guys are going to use. Okay? So I'm back to the HyperDoc. The Padlet clearly shows what we all share similarities, but we're also very unique and different from one another. So has anybody ever used Pear Deck before? Did anybody use Pear Deck last year in 4th grade? Nope. No one? Okay, so this is going to be the first time we're ever using this. Be patient. We're going to work through it. If anybody has any questions, shout them out, but wait till I finish the instruction so that I might answer your question as I go through it. So nobody has to click on this yet. I'm going to put something in chat. But what we're going to do, there are 8 slides, okay? But I'm going to provide you a link, and it's going to become a presentation. I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and you guys are going to be able to see this. Okay? So just hold tight 1 second. Let me get the code for you guys. And I can see how many people we joined. So I want to get everybody in here before we get started. So join quickly.
Wait, what is it?
It's going to be a response page, and we're going to go through the slides. And as you guys go through the slides, we're going to talk about it. And we're going to, it's about similarities and differences.
It's in Quiver, right?
No, it's in the chat on Zoom. I just
Oh.
sent you guys a link. You're going to click that. And there's going to be a code, I believe. Yeah. So I already have 2 people connected. So as you guys click through it to connect everybody in here.
Here, here, here.
I'm at
Like
6
tap-
students.
Should we like tap the code or something?
Yeah, you should be able to click it directly. If that's not possible,
Oh,
if it's not possible,
if
you
you
can.
can't highlight it, then you
Yeah,
can
you-
just click it like 3 times, like really fast, and it should highlight the whole thing for you.
Yeah, you can.
I'm
Click it up.
in the presentation.
Okay, I'm at 12 students, 13. If you guys can't just click it directly on Zoom, you can highlight it like Sydney said, and you can copy and paste it into the toolbar up top, the address bar up top.
Where do you know? It just has slide 1 of 8, all are welcome, and I can't do anything.
Perfect. Just hang tight. Let's wait for everybody to get in first. I'm at 18 students. See, highlight the click and drag the link up into your address bar. I'm at 20 students. We're almost all there.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
This is my main computer, so I have different accounts, and I have different websites. So whenever I click on the link, it brings me to Opera, and not like the website.
Can you highlight the entire thing and post it into your address bar? It needs to be the exact same thing that you see in the Zoom chat.
Okay, I'll try.
Okay. Highlight it, hit Control-C, go up to your address bar, and hit Control-V.
I know.
Okay.
Control-V.
Put a thumb up if you're in. Let me see who's in. Daisy P is in, Angel is in. Phoebe, you got it, good.
Control-C. No, it keeps on. Yeah, it won't work.
Students.
Yeah, it won't. Can you do you know where it is under? If it's like in Quibbler reading or something?
It's not under any of that because it's going to be a unique code just for this session because it's going to be through a presentation.
Can I do it with my own account? Because I can't seem to get it with my school account.
Yeah, if you can get in, you should be fine. Just try and get in the best you can.
Okay.
Mr. Willis.
Yeah.
Ashton, I will put it under material in Quibbler.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Miss Hasselbar. This is Jacoby. Every single time I try to copy it, it doesn't do anything. It just like.
She put it under material in Quibbler. So go to Quibbler.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
You should be able to click it through Quibbler.
Okay.
as we wait for the last couple of students in the class to get connected, start thinking about what kind of similarities you saw and how that can bring a class together. Or if you guys want to look for the differences within the class.
If you're there, does it have like a bunch of people on the front page?
Yes, that is exactly where I need you to be, Bennett. Just hold tight. Start looking for similarities and differences you saw in the little observations that you took. Start thinking about how those similarities can strengthen the class. Oh, now we're at 18 students. I don't know how we lost 2 students.
What is the code? Like, I mean, like, what is the assignment's name? Because when I copied it to my school bar, it didn't work at all.
Let me take a look. It's going to be the very top thing that you see. And is it the Nearpod link? Is that what they're looking for? Yeah. So it's going to be the very top thing on Quibbler called Nearpod link. You click that and you should be able to sign in.
Oh, it's actually Pear Duck. Oops.
Also the top thing in the string for Quibbler reading. Okay, I'm at 23. We're getting there. Just a few more minutes. If you guys can't all get on, then what I'm going to have you guys do is just write it down on a separate piece of paper as a response.
Okay, I am in, but it doesn't. All it says is all are welcome, and then it says
Perfect. That's exactly where I need you to be, Ashton. We're just waiting for everybody to get a chance to sign in, and then we're going to get started.
Where do I need to be?
I'm there.
You guys should just all be sitting on the first home screen that says all are welcome. If you see the home screen, put a thumbs up so I know that you're there. Okay, good. Jacoby made it. Ryder, you're there. Shia, you're there.
I can't use my screen for some reason. It says the host has stopped the video.
You should be able to see your.
I can't start your video because this has stopped.
You should be able to see your screen, just us not see you.
Yeah, you're fine how it is, Shane. As long as you can see the content that we're doing, we're going to get started right now. I have 26 students. For those that didn't get connected, just pull out a separate piece of paper, and as we go through, write down your responses by hand, and then we'll discuss it that way. Okay? So, all are welcome, as you guys see. We're gonna go through a set of questions. You guys are all gonna type a response. The first question: Are you surprised at the number of similarities that exist among the people in the class? Why or why not? So that's why I needed you guys taking good notes of the observations that you made on the Padlet. If you guys go down, you should be able to respond, and I can tell who's responding. I have 13 of 29 responses already. Seen a lot of people say they are surprised at the number of responses, but I'm seeing a lot of people that say that they are not surprised. Put your name at the end so I can see whose response is whose. I want to try and make sure that you guys are all responding to the prompt.
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
Are you supposed to share the slide with other people?
You should just be doing your. Yeah, finish your question.
Are we supposed to be having the slide shared like where other people are on it too?
Everyone should just be able to do their own response, and I'm going to be able to see everybody's responses. I don't believe that you guys can see your own responses or see other people's responses. Yeah.
What do you do after when you're done typing your response? Because
just hold tight. We're going to go through some of them together.
Okay.
And we're going to discuss. I'm going to give you guys about 30 more seconds to finish up your thought. And we're going to talk about it.
Mr. Willis,
Yes.
on the when we do the message, how do you send it or whatever?
It should be just coming up as you type it because I can see everybody typing at once.
Oh, okay.
Share yours and show it, just so they know.
Okay. So as you guys can see, I have everybody's response all on the board at once. Yeah, I see Kayla's, Ruby's, Angel's, Vera's, Daisy P. So now that we're almost all done, a couple that I really liked and that I want you guys to explain a little more. Saya said she's not surprised because everyone is different. What do you mean when you said everybody is different, Shai? Expand your thinking a little bit more. How is everybody different? Give me an example of how everyone is different or what that means. No, type share with everybody. Unmute.
Like everybody likes their own thing. Like some of us like art and some of us does it, and some of us likes to do martial arts and some of us don't. Like, you know?
Yeah, so everybody has their own things that they like to do, and other people may have different things that they like to do. So it's not surprising to Shia that people are different from one another and that there's so many similarities. But let's see. But Sophia L, she gave a perfect example. She wasn't surprised, or she was surprised, sorry, that there are so many things, or that there are so many similarities, but there are also a lot of things that we have in common. One thing that she said, I think that we all took note of, is how much time that we spend on the internet. A lot of people spend too much time on the internet. So I really like that, Miss Lococo. And then Kalia, expand on what you had to say. You said that you're not surprised because these are really common and they're really, I think you meant to say fun things to do. What specifically did you mean when you were typing that as your response? Kalia?
Like what I mean by it is that they're really common things that you can do, and I know a lot of people like to do them. So.
Okay, yeah. So we had a bunch of different answers here, which I really like. I like seeing the different perspectives that you guys have. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now that you guys know kind of what it looks like. We're going to go on to the next one. Question 2 is, how is recognizing these similarities important to how we work together? A lot of this has to do with, you can relate back to our morning meetings that we do. How does all this come together? How does it become a good way for us to work together? How can we use these similarities to help us work together? Why are they important? Remember to put your name on them. I need to see everybody's name because I'm going to go back and see who responded and who did not. I'll give you a few
The thing
minutes.
logged me out. It logged me out of the presentation.
See if you can get back in.
Okay.
Go through the link, and if not, then just write them down on a piece of paper on the side. And I will make note that you're doing it. I only have 22 of the 29 people in here typing. So if you haven't started typing yet, then you should get going on that. The question, how is recognizing these similarities important to how we work together? How can we use these similarities? Give you guys a few more minutes to type out your answer. Let those finish up their thinking. Good, I'm seeing some really good responses here. Oh, one answer that I really like, Bennett. So we know everyone's strength and their not strengths, so their weaknesses. So we know everyone's strengths and weaknesses so you can help them get better. Get better at what, Bennett? Unmute, explain. What can you help someone get better at?
Get better at their like weakness that are like they're not as good as. Like say someone's really good at math but not too good at like science or something. You could help them get better at science.
Yeah, definitely. Seeing that kind of community growth in the classroom is something that's really important. I like Kayla's answer too. It helps us come together because people who all like one thing could do it even better if they work together. Really good work, Kayla. I like that. Jack says it's important because then we know more about each other and we can talk about these similar things and connect with these things. Jack, why is it important to connect with your classmates?
Because we don't connect, and every time we go to work, we're not going to be able to talk to each other, and we're just not going to be that good at communicating because there's really nothing to talk about.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to have something in common with someone or knowing more about an individual could really help your communication with them and help your work with them even take the next step so that you guys can excel in all the kinds of work that you guys are doing in class. Good. Let's go to the next one. Could any of these similarities cause problems? Explain your thinking. So could they cause problems? Yes or no? But then explain why. Why you think that they do cause problems or why you think that they don't cause problems. I'm really interested to see your guys' thinking on this one. I'm seeing some yeses and I'm seeing some nos. You guys are doing great. I'm seeing some really good thinking here. Make sure you guys put your name on your responses. I see a couple with no names. There you go, Julian. Couple more minutes to finish up your thinking. Mr. McCormick, I really like yours. Alex M said, yes, I think it can cause problems. I think this because if one person has something in common with another person and their friend doesn't have that thing in common, then they could get angry. Why may someone get angry because of that? Mr. McCormick, do you have an idea as to why someone could get angry off of that?
Maybe because they're really best friends with that friend and they really want to be, closer to that friend, but they think they can't be if they don't have that thing in common with them.
Yeah. So when it comes to friendships, a lot of times friendships form because people have things in common, but not all friends agree with everything that you agree with. And though that may cause a problem, it may not. You got one thing that you guys could focus on is focusing on the things that you do have in common opposed to the things that you don't have in common. I really like Nicholas's answer. It's kind of the flip side of what Mr. McCormick was saying. Nicholas said, no, they won't cause problems because sharing similarities can share religions and the things you like to do with others. So that was something that we saw in the story that we were reading yesterday, was that there were similarities amongst a lot of the students. There were a lot of differences amongst them. But despite that, there weren't problems or it seemed like they were working well together as opposed to having problems with one another. So good. Next one. We've talked a lot about similarities. We're going to switch the focus on the differences that you saw in the classroom. This question is, what kinds of differences exist among the people in your class? What did you see that was different within the Padlet, within the things that we saw? Seeing some good thoughts start up so far. Remember when we're talking about differences, we're talking about the differences we saw in our classroom. We didn't talk about the different religions or beliefs or traditions that we saw in our classroom. That wasn't part of the Padlet. Daniel says that he saw other people like to play sports and some people like to play video games. Yeah, that was a big difference that we saw. Some people said that they like soccer and some said they like martial arts and other things, but that's okay because everyone is different in their own way. A lot of people like different foods, spicy food, Italian food, Thai food. Yeah, definitely saw that. We all have different interests and things that we all do. Most like to use the internet and play sports. And we all don't like to do the same things. But we are all still, they're still typing their last response. They're all still the same. Yeah, they're all still the same. Daisy, I like your thinking. One thing that I saw as a big difference was I saw this response from somebody, but I lost it. It said some people like to read the best. Some people like to do math. Some people like to do art. So when it comes to school, the subjects that you prefer, a lot of difference when it comes to that. I'm not going to spend too much time on this because, yeah, we did see a lot of differences. Let's go to the next one. This one's a deeper thinker. How is recognizing these differences important to how we work together? How can we recognize these differences as a good thing? How can we be a better classmate by recognizing these differences? Seen a lot of good responses. I'm going to call on a couple people to share their response, so make sure you guys are on your toes and ready to share. Just a few more minutes to finish up your thinking. Kayla, be ready to share yours. I really like yours. I'm going to have you go first. I want you to read yours to me into the class. Phoebe, yours is really good. I like that. Ashton, I need more than that. That doesn't relate to our question that we have here. Kayla, why don't you unmute and share what you wrote?
I wrote because we know each other's strengths and weaknesses, so we can help others overcome their weaknesses if we work together.
How could that apply to the classroom? Can you give me an example of how you might use that in the classroom?
Like if somebody isn't as good at math as some other person is, the other person could help them and they could get better at it.
Definitely. So if math is your strong suit and reading is your weak suit, there's plenty of people that love to read in the class that could help you. Or maybe you're really good at math and somebody's not so good at math. Coming together and being a part of the community is a really good way to grow a classroom based on their differences. And if you guys don't get it done by the time we move on, then come back to it once we get off of Zoom today. It's okay. We just got to get through the rest of these slides because I think they're all important to answer. Ryder, can you unmute and share yours? I really like yours as well.
So, can you hear me?
You're cutting out a little bit. Try reading it. If it's too bad, then I'll read it for you.
Can you hear me better now?
Yeah.
All right. Mine is one reason it's important to be different is so that not everyone has the same ideas. This means that some kids might get persuaded to like something they didn't like before.
Yeah. I really love what you had to share there. That has to do with something that we were talking about earlier in the week about the author's intent to persuade someone of something. That can be done in the classroom as well. If everybody has the same idea, then nothing new is going to be done. No one's going to try to do anything new. But if someone likes one thing and a person likes another, then you guys can work together, try and persuade people, and try to get people to do new things that they haven't done before. I really like that, Rudder. I think that's a great thing to focus on when you're looking at the differences. Let's go on to the next one. We got two more. Could any of these differences cause problems? And explain your thinking why. Could the differences that we saw in the Padlet cause problems within the class? Or why do you not think that?
Didn't we just do an answer like this, though?
We did it with the similarities. This one's about the differences. Could the differences in our classroom cause problems? Just about 30 more seconds to finish up. Daisy J, do you have a question?
When I type the answer, it doesn't have like a button, so I can't. Like I've been writing it, it just doesn't let me send my response to you.
Don't worry about it. I'm going to have you share this one, and then after Zoom, we'll go through and I want to hear your answers. I want you to share your thinking on this one, because I am sure that you have great ideas. Looks like most of us are wrapping up this problem. So Daisy, I'm going to call on you first. Do you think that these differences can cause problems?
Me?
Yeah, Daisy J. Daisy J.
I think they can.
No, that's great. You think that they can. Why do you think that they can cause problems?
Because different people have different opinions. It might cause a problem, but I'm not sure. But I'm pretty sure it can cause a problem for people. Yeah.
Yeah, differences can cause problems if people have different opinions. That was a recurring theme that I saw throughout our responses. The writer said that kids might argue about something. They might fight over something if they have differing views. See a lot of yeses. Jack said yes. Abigail said yes. Nicholas said no. He said no because differences can help people. How can differences help people, Nicholas?
It can help you by like if someone needs help like
you're good at math and they're like not really so good at math, then you can help them with that. And you can help them get better.
Yeah. So differences can be a good thing. When people argue with each other, it's because of a lot of the time it's that they disagree on something. But if you look at it through the way of helping people, the differences can be a really positive thing in the classroom. Angel also said no. Angel, can you unmute and share your response?
If you're because if you're different, it doesn't matter like you're from a different country. They won't make fun of you. But if they make oh whoops. Sorry about that. Forgot. Some kind of
I think what you're trying to say, correct me if I'm wrong, but you're saying that being different doesn't make you any more wrong or any incorrect from one another. Being different can bring out the best of people, but in a classroom like ours, there's no differences aren't shamed. Being different can lift people up and change the community in the classroom to a more positive one.
Yeah. I was trying to say that.
Good. All right, we got one more. Last one. Why is it so important to recognize both the similarities and differences that exist among people? This one brings it all together, both similarities and differences. Why is it important to look at both the similarities and the differences? Give me a thumbs up when you guys are done so I can kind of get an idea. What's up, Julian? Are you raising your hand that you're done, or do you have a question?
I'm done, but my computer's about to die, so I have to leave and go on a different one.
Okay, do it quickly.
All right. I'm done.
Thank you, Shane. Vera's done. Jacoby's done. Bennett is done because he's walking around his room. Okay, just about 30 more seconds to finish up. Would anybody like to share their response for this one? Okay, Miss Wilton, so enthusiastic as always. What do you think about this one?
I said that to tell people that being different is okay and not to listen to other people that say otherwise.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree with you. Being able to accept your differences for what they are is what makes you you and can really bring new perspectives and new things into the class that wouldn't be there otherwise. I really like that response, Miss Wilton. Ruby, share your response for us.
I wrote, so we can understand people better. We can learn why they like something different than we do. We can grow off what we agree on.
Yeah, I really like that. A lot of what we have in class is work, and what a lot of what we have worked on already is trying to build a community. Building a community is not just done based off the things that you have in common with everybody, but it's the things that are different from one another as well. Being able to focus on both the similarities and differences can really strengthen everybody in a class and bring them together, because everybody has something, a new perspective or a new outlook to share. So I really like that. Good job, Ruby. Sydney, you said you wanted to share?
Yeah. Can you hear me today?
Yes, go for it, girl.
Can you hear? It's important because differences will help you with others with their weakness, and you can help others with their strength. For similarities, it's important because you should know what you have in common with other people.
Yeah, again, I feel that that goes back to the issue of community building, being able to help people that are maybe weaker in one area and help lift them up. But then in turn, if they're better at one thing than you are, they can help lift you up. And that just brings everybody up together. And that's a really good way to look at it. Good job, Sydney. Last one, we're going to do Jacoby. Jacoby, share for us.
I wrote, it is important because when you look at both of the qualities, you can recognize that they're similar to you and different from you.
Yeah, everybody has similarities, everybody has differences. Coming together as a classroom, like we saw in the story yesterday, coming together can only make the classroom better as a whole. I think you guys did great. I'm going to go back later once we get off of Zoom, and I'm going to make sure that everybody responded. If you guys were not able to get into the Pear Deck and you wrote your responses down, that's great too. You can show me once we're out of Zoom. All right, good job, everybody. I'm really happy with the work that you guys put in today.